People go hiking for so many different reasons. To enjoy the outdoors, to escape day-to-day life, to connect with nature, to express their desire for adventure. But on top of all this, hiking can be a great way to exercise. Hiking can be completely customized to anyone's fitness level. That's why it's a great way to support someone on a weight loss journey. Doesn't matter where you're starting, you can find a challenging hike that suits your fitness level. I personally used hiking a lot when I first started to shift my fitness goals and decided I needed to lose weight. Growing up, I was extremely active with sports and outdoor activities. However, when I went to university, I spent 4 years playing no sports and not getting much time outside. My only physical activity was lifting weights for powerlifting and bodybuilding. At the time, this is what I loved to do. I enjoyed progressing in size and strength and stayed very consistent. At the time, I thought I was really healthy and athletic, even though I did very little cardiovascular training. Over the course of 5 years, I put on over 40 pounds. And even though my body composition was pretty good, my body was only built for one thing: being strong in the gym. After 5 years of that, I started to shift gears to more running and outdoor activities. This caused me to experience a bit of knee pain and sent me down the rabbit hole of trying to solve this problem. And the first thing I realized was that I had to lose weight. Now, this didn't happen overnight, and it was pretty hard for me because of all the hard work I'd put in to add this weight over the past 5 years. Even though it was difficult for me, I realized it was necessary because it was the only path to my healthiest and most optimal self. Over the course of a year, I slowly dropped about 25 pounds and started to feel a lot better. I lost a little bit of muscle and a lot of fat, but overall, I felt this change was in my best interest. Hiking played a big part in this for me, because as I started to hike longer distances and bring more and more supplies with me, I realized that I didn't want to carry any more weight than I absolutely had to, in my bag or on my body. And I knew that the weight that I had on my body needed to be muscle that would work for me and not against me. A lot of hikers will spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on super expensive ultralight gear that saves them just a couple grams in their backpack. But that is definitely not me, and especially not when I first started hiking. I had cheap, bulky, and heavy gear, so that's why I needed to be lean and strong if I wanted to continue hiking the distances that interested me. The way I lost weight was the way most people lose weight: diet and exercise. However, I feel like I did this in an extremely sustainable way, because it's now 3 years later and my body fat percentage has stayed pretty much the same the entire time. This is a process that should be taken very slowly. The faster you lose weight, the easier it'll be to regain weight. So that's why my strategy was to focus on diet and lifestyle changes that were the most sustainable. That way I could keep doing them for a long period of time and not just while I was dieting. For diet, I just cut out 2 things: processed sugar and any kind of seed oil. If you cut these 2 things out of your diet, it'll have a massive impact on your health, and you'll naturally gravitate to things that are good for you. I chose these 2 ingredients because if you check the label on almost any kind of junk food, it's almost guaranteed that they'll contain one or both of these ingredients. My second rule for diet was to focus on protein. This came mostly in the form of meat, eggs, and Greek yogurt. And these were basically my only 2 diet rules. When I follow these, it forces me to eat high quality foods that give me a ton of energy without having to overeat calories. If you want to make dietary changes, you have to give yourself some kind of rules. And these rules should be something that you can stick to even on your most stressful day, because if not, you won't follow them. With my rules, I chose not to monitor my caloric intake, but instead, I just did things that discouraged me from overeating. This means that there's definitely days where I overate, but overall, my caloric intake was low enough for me to lose weight. Focusing on protein really helped me because it's way more satiating than carbs and fat. One easy hack that I've found if you're feeling really hungry is to eat 2 eggs about 30 minutes before your meal. If you do this, it'll satiate you really well, and you'll be way less likely to gorge yourself when you get to that meal. Your body needs amino acids from protein. And if you don't have enough amino acids, your body will keep sending hunger signals until you get what your body is asking for. Even some of the leanest people still have weeks worth of energy on their body in the form of fat. However, protein and amino acid levels are something that your body must replenish constantly. So the feeling of hunger is very rarely your body asking for more energy, but more often than not, it's your body asking for more protein. So if you're just eating low protein foods like candy or chips, then it's going to take so much of those kind of foods before you actually feel full. But if you're eating something like steak or eggs, it won't be long at all before your body is satisfied. I found that these rules that I made for myself allowed my body to level out at a comfortable weight. And I believe this weight is my optimal weight. And I'll keep trying to add more muscle, but I won't be trying to get excessively heavier or get excessively leaner. And I feel like this is a big component of saying sustainable, because I didn't force myself to get so lean that I was miserable. I just got to a comfortable weight, and now I feel like I can do this forever. So it took me almost a year to lose 25 pounds. So obviously I didn't follow these rules 100%. I still went out to eat or have a couple drinks with friends. However, as soon as my cheat meal was done, I knew I could easily jump right back on my program with no issues. And that's a good thing to note. If you do fall off the wagon, just remember you're only one meal away from being back on plan. And I was even able to make versions of unhealthy foods, following my rules, that weren't low calorie or healthy, whatever that even means. But it did allow for a kind of loophole in my diet where I could eat these delicious foods once in a while without going completely off track. And when I did this, I still focused on high protein and not consuming processed sugars or seed oils. I also periodically used fasting on this weight loss journey. This is something that was super useful for me for appetite control, but it's not something I believe should be done long term. I found that I would end up feeling weak or binging if I pushed my fast too long or was doing it too frequently. However, it is a great tool for understanding your body and your cravings. If you've never gone a couple hours without dying of starvation, then I would recommend giving it a shot. If you go 24 hours or even longer without food, you'll definitely understand the difference between hunger and boredom. Not to mention other cravings that can be mistaken for hunger, like the craving for more salt or the craving for more water. Both of these feelings can trick you into feeling hungry if you haven't truly felt the difference before. If you're feeling hungry, try first drinking some water and having some electrolytes. If you still feel hungry after this, then eat some protein. This sequence of eating will make it way less likely for you to overeat. So pushing breakfast back a couple hours into the day is something that helped me a lot during my weight loss journey. But like I said, it's something that can backfire if you do it long term. Another major part of my weight loss journey was exercise, and that's where hiking comes in. However, it's not exactly feasible for everyone to go out hiking each day of the week. So that's why you need to find a form of exercise that you can do consistently every single day. I continued weightlifting and tried to do as much walking as I possibly could. It's not an intense 2-hour blood-boiling workout that will get you to lose weight long term. These workouts definitely have their place, but it's the daily consistency that is key. So getting your daily steps in is something you can aim for every single day, even when you're busy or stressed. Sometimes it can be really hard to get an hour workout in, especially when you consider commute time and everything that goes into before and after. But anyone can knock out a few 10-minute walks throughout their day, whether it's on your work breaks, in the morning, at lunchtime, or after dinner. If you get creative, there's a ton of ways that you can get more low-impact exercise throughout the day. One of the best ways to get in a good workout is to find an activity that doesn't feel like exercise. For me, that was hiking and doing jiu-jitsu. And these are both activities that I started to get into when I first started losing weight. Hiking is great because it's something you can get lost in, and before you know it, you've done hours of exercise without even thinking about it. Same goes with jiu-jitsu or any other sport that you find that you enjoy. Once you get into it, it just feels like play, and you don't have to force yourself to push harder and harder like you would if you were doing a CrossFit workout or something like that. Hiking also gave me a great goal to work towards. If I planned a big hike, I knew I had to keep training consistently so that I could actually enjoy the hike and not be completely gassed the whole time. Now, if you're hiking to lose weight, you do have to be careful with your nutrition while you're on the trail. Many people, myself included, love hiking all day and then rewarding ourselves with a bunch of snacks and treats and maybe even a couple drinks at the end of the night. And it's really easy to justify that because you've just spent the entire day exercising. However, if you're actively trying to lose weight, you're gonna need to cut back on this at least a little bit. I tried really hard to balance 3 things while I was hiking. Not overeating a bunch of junk, not underfueling to the point where I felt weak, and still enjoying a few tasty snacks, because I did earn it. So I tried my best to follow my nutrition rules throughout the day, and at night by the campfire, I would enjoy a few extra snacks if I felt like I needed a few extra calories. And this is something I still do now when I go out hiking. Losing weight is something that's simple, but not easy. And what's even more difficult is continuing to stay healthy once you've lost weight. However, if you build sustainable habits, you will gain momentum. And before you know it, your weight loss diet will become your healthy lifestyle that you look forward to every day. I've got a few other videos on hiking, training, and nutrition, so check those out if you're trying to improve your fitness. I hope you learned something in this video, and I hope you can use hiking to become your most optimal self. Let me know how hiking has helped your fitness in the comments below, and tune in next time for another adventure.